NIL deals are getting absolutely insane right now. Last week, the NCAA came out with a new set of rules when it comes to NIL deals and how they operate. And as you can see, there's tons of rumors flying around of potential athletes making almost the exact same as what they would get as a rookie in the NFL, such as Marvin Harrison Jr. There's a rumor saying that his new NIL deal is worth almost $20 million. Where is Ohio State getting this money, and how is this even allowed? Well, there was a new rule change in the last week or so that schools now have the ability to use money that is not from the school, so like private investors such and such. The way that the NCAA describes this is that schools in the new highest paying subdivision are now required to set aside a minimum of $30,000 per athlete for at least half of their athletes on an annual basis. The money is to help athletes continue education pursuits during the summer or after their careers. Schools can now choose to provide more money to each athlete and providing more to more of their athletes. It would also be left up to the individual schools to decide when they share that money with athletes. NCAA doesn't intend to require that any athlete finish his or her degree before they gain access to this money. Also, the letter doesn't define which schools would fall in the top earning subdivision, but instead says that the new framework would give schools the option to decide the top schools, which according to this letter are more impacted by collective, the transfer portal, and NIL. So what it's saying is that essentially the NCAA is not regulating these NIL deals for the most part. The schools have full autonomy when it comes to these NIL deals. They can pretty much put the benchmark at any level, but they are saying that there's the minimum regulation is that if you are one of the higher earning schools and you're offering these outrageous $1 million platforms, that all players get at least $30K while playing, even no matter what they are. These new rules would then create a new different subdivisions as well, like what I was talking about with the different divisions, like there's tier 1, there's tier 2s, all these different divisions based on school makeup. So essentially it's like a game of who has the most money when it comes to these players. And you can think about all of these other schools like Notre Dame, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan's. They're all looking at these smaller schools with all these talented players, and they're just going to keep poaching these players with that capital, and these smaller schools will never be able to grow because all these top-rated players on these low-tier teams will just, after 1-2 years, just get up and leave, and then all these schools will offer coaches, these different players. You can see it right now. Duke's quarterback had a great year. The team was a little, but he was really developing, and now he's transferring out. Oregon State is now leaving the Power 5. Quarterback leaving. Oklahoma. That quarterback had been to 2 places. UCF went to Oklahoma, was built up. Now he's going to go into a new NIL deal. These NIL deals are changing the game and the landscape of college football. I personally loved college football when no one was paid because it always felt like there was some loyalty. I'll put quotes around that, where like you could grow as a player and you could see that player stay on that team for 4 years. But now you could barely see teams leave, come. I know it's to help these players grow. Like if a player's not getting a lot of play time, but is very, very well known. Like let's say like Arch Manning doesn't get play time for the first 2 years. Why would he stay for Texas if he knows he's not going to start and he has that NIL money that's lined up and he can start for another team? I get it, but like the money shouldn't be the reason you transfer, and there should be a cap. Like why leave the college landscape when you can just get paid in the NCAA? What's the point of going to the NFL at this point when you can just stay in the NCAA for 5, 6, 7 years with all of these extra changes during COVID, all these different things that help players stay a long time? You get your graduate degree. They're just in grad school and essentially getting paid millions of dollars to just essentially go to class for a little bit and then leave. And what is the point? And what is the regulation for this? Like just think. Literally, the Sanders brand in Colorado, this guy's rolling up the school in a Rolls Royce. Arch Manning's at $2.8 million. Caleb Williams, $2.7. Travis Hunter, $2. These numbers are crazy. These NIL numbers, these kids are worth millions and millions of dollars just coming out of high school, and no regulation. They can essentially get the sky's the limit. And like I said, Marvin Harrison Jr., there's rumors that his NIL deal is going to be worth upwards of $20 million. Marvin Harrison Jr., $20 million? Why even spend that kind of capital as an Ohio State when you could just get another high school receiver? That's the essence of college sport. There's unlimited high schools coming out, and you can grow, build, and get it. Why are these schools paying this crazy amount of money for these players that could be good, could not be good. Like think, Caleb Williams worth $2.7 million. His team didn't even make the playoffs. Why is he worth so much? Like, yeah, he's a good quarterback, but it doesn't mean he's gonna win you games. Ohio State, one of the best receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr. Why keep him when your team is in a rebuilding stage anyway? You already got rid of your quarterback's leaving. You're going to bring another quarterback in, hopefully for the better, but your receivers are still good. You can always pull another receiver from another school for cheaper. It's essentially why pay for just that slight advantage? Come on. Like, there's no reason to be paying these kids this much money when there's plenty of options. There's plenty of kids. So many kids that just fly under the radar that just aren't on social media. They just don't have that. They don't go to the school. They don't have that kind of capital. You could find them. You don't need to pay $20 million. We could just have someone Google search a random team and just look at some film and just go, that kid has opportunity, and just get him in there. A 1-star, 2-star, just build them up. You're an elite program. Just build them up. That's your job. That's your job as a sports program. Anyway, that's gonna be my rant for the day about NIL. If you like what you see, please comment what you think about NIL deals. Peace.